Centennial, Colorado, September 30th, 2008, 6:15 p.m. A black duffel bag sits on a stranger's kitchen table like a loaded gun. Two men lean over it. One of them is 30 years old, 5'9", built like a bowling ball. A former Pro Bowl running back who once shredded NFL defenses and signed a 5-year, $22.5 million contract. Today, he isn't wearing a helmet. He's wearing a white t-shirt and the kind of look you only get when money problems are chasing you faster than linebackers ever did. His name is Travis Henry. Across from him, James Mack fumbles with a vacuum-sealed brick, slices his finger trying to carve a sample out. Henry takes over, like he's done his whole life. He breaks off a small chunk, good quality, exactly what they think they paid for. 6 kilograms of cocaine. Street value around $100,000, enough to drag a former NFL star out of football history and into federal court records forever. Henry zips the duffel bag closed and heads for the front door. He has no idea that the bricks in that bag came from a DEA chemist. No idea the friend who set up the deal is wired. No idea that the next 30 seconds are about to tackle what's left of his life harder than any safety ever did. When Travis Henry steps onto the porch, federal agents explode out of the shadows. Mac drops instantly, face to concrete. Henry runs. The man who once led the NFL in rushing yards is now sprinting through a quiet Colorado suburb, clutching a bag of fake cocaine that was never really his, chased by men with badges and guns. He makes it a few houses before they bring him down. A short pursuit, a quick tackle, and just like that, the game is over. The question is simple, but the answer isn't. How does someone go from Pro Bowl to money guy in a multi-state cocaine conspiracy? From carrying a football on Sundays to threatening that entire families are dead, to understand that, we have to rewind. And we have to talk about a flaw that was there long before the drugs. Drafted in the second round in 2001 by the Buffalo Bills, Travis Henry is everything teams used to love in a running back. Tough, north-south, no nonsense. At Tennessee, he was an SEC first-team All-American. In Buffalo, he becomes the franchise's fourth leading rusher in history, piling up 3,849 yards and 27 touchdowns in just 3 seasons. In 2002, he rushes for 1,438 yards and 13 touchdowns. Pro Bowl stardom. He's not just getting paid, he's getting permission. Permission to believe he deserves more carries, more respect, more money. When the Bills draft Willis McGahee and Henry loses his starting job, he doesn't want to be a backup. He demands more. Therefore, he's traded to Tennessee. But there, he ends up backing up Chris Brown anyway. In March 2007, the Denver Broncos hand him a 5-year, $22.5 million contract with a $12 million bonus. It should be the moment that sets him up for life. Instead, it becomes the high point on a graph that is already turning down. Through the first 4 weeks of the 2007 season, Henry leads the NFL in rushing yards. On the field, he looks unstoppable. Off the field, everything is cracking. Court documents reveal he's fathered 9 children with 9 women. Child support alone is a 6-figure yearly burden. Later reports say the number of children climbs to 11 by 10 different women. He spends over $200,000 on jewelry in a single season, while owing around $170,000 a year in child support. The money is flying out faster than it's coming in. And then comes the first public crack. He tests positive for marijuana. The league notifies him he faces a possible 1-year suspension. He fights it, wins on appeal after an NFL paperwork mistake, and avoids the ban. The system tells him he got lucky. His brain tells him he beat the system, But injuries pile up. Knee and rib problems ruin his 2007 season. He misses games. He stops producing. The Broncos question his commitment. In June 2008, Denver cuts him. A year after getting life-changing money, he's out of a job. This is where most downfall stories could stop. Take the hit. Downsize your life. Pay what you can. Disappear quietly. But that's not Travis Henry. He doesn't know how to live smaller. He only knows how to chase bigger. By 2008, Henry's football career is in free fall. His income is gone, but his obligations aren't. 11 kids, 10 women, lawyers, courts, back child support. The reputation of being too inconsistent on and off the field to keep around any longer. On paper, he's a free agent. In reality, he's cornered. So when someone offers him a way to be the money guy in something else, it doesn't feel like crime. It feels like a comeback. Federal documents later describe Henry as the financier of a cocaine ring trafficking between Colorado and Montana. He's not the one driving the drugs. He's not standing on corners. He's the one putting up cash, expecting more in return. In his mind, it's another version of what he's always done. But this play is different. There are no referees, only cops and consequences. By September 2008, one of the men moving drugs for Henry is driving along Interstate 90 in Montana when a state patrol officer and a DEA agent pull over his Chevy Impala. Inside, 6 pounds of marijuana and about 3 kilograms of what looks like cocaine. He tells them he's getting $5,000 to haul the load to Billings and that the real players are back in Denver, Travis Henry and another man. In that moment, the Montana driver becomes something else, a confidential informant. We'll call him what one writer did, Bob the Snitch. Bob the Snitch has a problem even before the traffic stop. 2 kilograms from a previous shipment have already disappeared in Billings. Robbed, gone, worth $40,000. Money that was supposed to go back to Henry and his partner. According to the affidavit, Henry is furious. Bob tells investigators that Henry is threatening him and the Billings dealer, saying their families are all dead if they don't come up with the missing cash. In order to stay alive, Bob and Henry's partner, James Mack, come up with a plan. Find another buyer. Steve, the other guy who wanted to buy cocaine, and sell him 1 real kilo and 2 fake ones made of drywall. Use the $40,000 profit to plug the hole in the debt. Rip off one customer to pay back another. It's a simple scheme, the kind that works until it doesn't. Because before they can fix their problem with fake cocaine, law enforcement flips the board. Bob agrees to cooperate. He tells agents everything, that he's been involved in the conspiracy since 2006, that more than 5 kilograms have moved between Denver and Billings, that Henry is the money guy behind it. Then he agrees to do one more job, a reverse sting. This time, the drugs will not be real, but the consequences will be. The plan is methodical. Step 1. Bob, under supervision, tells Mac that the Montana deal went sideways. The fake drugs sold, but on his way back, the state patrol took the money. According to Bob, Mac says he'll have to tell Henry. Now Henry's not just out $40,000 from the robbery, he's out the replacement money too. Step 2. Bob calls Henry and offers a solution. He'll deliver 3 kilograms of cocaine to Henry to make up for the lost cash. Henry agrees. A few days later, Bob ups the offer. He has 5 kilos, 3 are his, and Henry can buy the other 2. Step 3, behind the scenes. The DEA chemist prepares 6 kilogram size sham bricks. The packages look and feel like cocaine. On Tuesday at 5:43 p.m., Bob calls Henry and tells him to come pick everything up at a house in Centennial, Colorado. Henry has options. He could walk away. He could decide that $40,000 and the ego hit of backing down is better than risking federal time. But that's not who he is. For years, every yard he gained came from refusing to go down on first contact. Now he treats crime the same way. Therefore, he doubles down. He brings Mac with him to the house. They knock. They walk into a sting. Inside the Centennial home, Bob the snitch hands over a black duffel bag packed with 6 sham kilograms. Henry and Mac put it on the kitchen table, open it, pull out a brick. They think they're about to make back their money. In reality, they've just given the government everything it needs. The call records, the recorded threats, the informant's testimony, the video, the bag in his hands. Henry picks up the duffel bag and heads for the door. Outside, federal agents move in. Mac drops. Henry runs. The man who used to hear stadiums roar now hears the slap of his own footsteps on concrete. The shouts of agents yelling for him to get on the ground. In the police paperwork, what happens next is captured in one dry sentence. Henry ran from police and was apprehended a few houses away after a short pursuit. For a guy who once carried the ball 325 times in a season, that's the saddest stat of his career. What follows is less dramatic, but no less final. The indictment charges Travis Henry with conspiracy to possess, with intent to distribute at least 5 kilograms of cocaine, along with other distribution counts. The government says he helped traffic cocaine between Colorado and Montana, financing the operation as the money guy, while associates moved product in cash. In April 2009, standing in a federal courtroom in Billings, Montana, Henry does something he didn't do much on the field. He stops fighting for extra yards. He pleads guilty to a single conspiracy count in exchange for the other charges being dropped. Under the deal, prosecutors agreed to dismiss 2 additional distribution counts that each carried another 10-year mandatory minimum. In July 2009, he's sentenced to 3 years in federal prison, followed by supervised release and drug treatment. The judge cites his marijuana addiction and financial desperation as part of what drove him into the conspiracy, but they don't erase what he did once he stepped into it. On the outside, his life has collapsed. The NFL is gone. The Broncos have cut him. No team is taking a chance on a 30-year-old back-facing federal time and already in the league's substance abuse program. On top of prison, he still owes support for 11 kids. The man who once made $40,000 in about 10 minutes of football is now threatening people over that amount in drug money and losing years of his life for it. If this were a typical sports documentary, this is where we'd search for a redemption. We'd talk about second chances, lessons learned, maybe a comeback. But a downfall story isn't about comfort, it's about consequence. Travis Henry's life is a cautionary tale written in yards and kilograms. A story about a man who thought he could break every tackle, including the financial math on 11 kids and a millionaire lifestyle, and keep running forever. Instead, he discovered something most of us never have to learn the hard way. You can outrun safeties, you can outrun linebackers, you cannot outrun your own flaw. And when it's money you're chasing, when every decision is a therefore built on a lie, the final hit always comes. Sometimes it's at the bottom of a pile of linemen, and sometimes it's a short sprint, a black duffel bag, and a tackle in front of a stranger's house in Centennial, Colorado. If this story stayed with you, there are 2 others we've told that live in the same quiet, tragic space, where greatness and consequence intersect. The night basketball died. Our look back at the morning the world lost Kobe Bryant. Not just a helicopter crash, but a moment that froze an entire sport in place. From prison cell to first tee, the Scotty Scheffler arrest. A story that begins with flashing lights and a police report, but unfolds into something stranger and more human. Different men, different paths, but the same fragile truth threads them together. Everything can change in one moment, and sometimes the stories we remember most are the ones that remind us how thin the line really is.